Welcome back. Now, more people will now be allowed to gather in one place under lockdown level 1. The curfew will also begin later. That's good news for event organisers who've been struggling under COVID restrictions. The South African Events Council represents a variety of stakeholders in the sector. I'm now joined by the council's chairperson, Raylene Johnson. Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson, for your time. Of course, this comes as good news to the sector, especially after such a plunge financially in the last couple of years, or months rather.
So good afternoon to you and to all the viewers. Absolutely, we are really thrilled. At this point in time, we want to call it a victory, but we'll hold back on it a little bit. So as you know, the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent lockdown regulations, which came into effect on the 26th of March in 2020, has had a major impact on the country's economy and specifically tourism. The event sector as a subsector there has really been adversely affected. So for us, level 1 is the beginning of recovery for the sector. At least we can resume at limited scale, but it's workable, so we can at least work with that. We welcome it, and we feel that the long-term efforts that have been made by the various stakeholders within the organization and joining in with various of the government institutions like the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Sports, Arts and Culture, B4SA, etc., to name but a few, that those engagements are at least now paying off. And from an events and exhibition point of view, even this live sporting events, it's really opened some channels for the government to propose phase reopening. So we really welcome that at this stage.
I think at some point there was also some resistance from those who, for instance, plan exhibitions. They didn't understand why they were not allowed to have exhibitions even from lockdown level 3, because if churches could be allowed to have a few people, then people were asking themselves why they couldn't have that whole half capacity, etc.
Yeah, that was quite a challenge for the industry, because, when you look at exhibitions and when you look at conferencing, there is a line of differentiation between the two, where you have a lot of people gathered in one space for a lengthy period of time, as opposed to your exhibitions where you have a flow of people that would move in and out. So that was really one of the areas. And I think what was done with the various regulations and protocols put in place, everything was just, bundled as one. It was all of the various areas within the events sector, even though there are differences, were all seen as one. But we are grateful, and I must say that as a united front, we all stood together from the various sectors of the events and business event areas, and we really fought a hard battle there.
Now, besides alcohol, events were also one of those things that were blamed for the spread of COVID-19 or the rapid spread. Events were also blamed for the different waves that we've gone through. And a lot of people are scared right now that we might experience the 4th wave and have another bleak December. Your response to that?
I do believe, and as I said right in the beginning, we want to call it a victory, but we will reserve that at this point in time. I do believe that people, that individuals should take their individual responsibility in terms of ensuring that they, as individuals, and whether you go out in public to the shops or to the church or your workplace, that you still ensure that you keep to the regulated protocols. You wear your mask, you wash your hands, etc., etc. It is really an individual thing at the end of the day, and I do think that the health certificate that the minister has been speaking about, I do think that is something that is really important, and it's something that should happen sooner rather than later. And I think that will also give a bit more confidence to event goers and to the broader public who would like to attend these events.
Just very quickly, from your side, of course, I think people want to know, as a role player, I think everybody wants life to go back to normal, and everybody wants to be able to go to events, you know what I mean? It's not just the event organizers who are looking forward to this. So as a stakeholder, what is it that you promise, to do, to play your part in curbing COVID-19?
Look, having fought the long, hard fight that we have been, I think, for the past 22 months, we're really in a space right now that we do not want to mess it up, if I can put it lightly. So for us, it is important to ensure that all the stakeholders really still stick to the regulations within the, of the government, that all the venues comply to that as well. And when you look at venues, when you look at big events, those are really areas where the business was highly, highly affected. A lot of people have left the industry. A lot of businesses have folded because of job losses. So the knock was very hard for the industry. And I think that we do promise, in terms of confidence building, that we will substantiate, that we will ensure that every single event that we as the Events Council are responsible for will be done to the highest standard in terms of keeping the protocols and regulations in check, and ensuring that we're doing the right thing. So I really do believe that confidence building at this point is really, really important for the event goers and the public at large.
All right, Raylene Johnson, thank you very much for your time. She is, of course, the chairperson of the South African Events Council.